everyone. My name's Laurie Carty, and I'm one of the organizers for S.O.A.R, Study of Alternative Reality, right here in Cinnaminson, New Jersey. This presentation that we are about to host for you is with Keith Anthony Blanchard, and I'm going to read his bio for you. Keith is a spiritual teacher, an intuitive, a channeler, an astral traveler, speaker, extraterrestrial communicator, and author of the best-selling book, The Divine Principle, Anchoring Heaven on Earth. Keith is also a musician, composer, live studio sound engineer, bassist, guitarist, and singer. There is no talent this guy does not have. So enjoy our presentation. We had a lot of fun on his interview. Have a great life, everybody.
The course of my life from 33 onward, when I began to be a conscious spiritualist, metaphysician, having divine experiences with avatars from India, angelic experiences, beings from the angelic realm, and also with people from not from this world, extraterrestrial. My life has become a conglomeration of amalgamating all of these different types of beings of light and just coming to the understanding that it's all here for our divine purpose for unfolding. What if I was to say to the listening audience there with you, that what if the entire universe was created by you only for this moment to share with you this very message I'm telling you right now, for the process and the purpose of the week? Very big question. Very easy question. That's how much you're worth. You deserve such grandeur, is that this is all happening to you now for the sake of a week. Not only meaning me as the teacher, but whoever would be, but for the preciousness and the gift of this moment.
I just wanted to know if you could share a little bit about when you decided that you needed to go to India. Could you talk about how that whole thing came about?
Back in 1997, I was attending a spiritual class in Memphis, Tennessee. And there was a wall. On this wall was a bunch of pictures. Jesus, Buddha, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, and beings of the light. And a lot of these deities, I knew who they were, and some of them I did not. Coincidentally, the last in the lot was a picture of this man back here. Everybody can see that?
Yep. Yeah.
That is a picture of S.O.A.R. Jesus was a yogi. Buddha was a yogi. You, me, everyone are yogis. We are beings that aspire to godhood. Jesus, Buddha, Paramahansa Yogananda, Sadhguru, many of beings of the light have achieved the state of God consciousness through their light, and that would be called a yogi. However, S.O.A.R. is not a yogi, was not a yogi. He died in 2011. Coincidentally, Easter morning, he's what's known as an avatar. An avatar is born with God consciousness. Born with God consciousness. In fact, he is considered the highest, I use in quotes to make a point, the highest incarnation of God to ever walk the planet. Now, it doesn't mean he's above and beyond people like Jesus and Buddha, but it paints the picture that he came here with full divine power. Basically, he is the Godhead manifested. Well, my friend Paul, when we were going through these pictures on the wall at the Connection Center for this spiritual meeting that night, I asked him, who was that? He said, Keith, this is S.O.A.R. And I asked him, what is his claim to fame? And he picks up this canister, and he opens the canister, and here's a bunch of ash called Vibhuti ash. And in this ash is created out of his hand, Paul told me. And I was immediately intrigued. I wanted to know everything I could find out about this avatar. because I knew that manifesting was possible as to why I got on the spiritual path in the first place. Keep in mind, this man, holy man, Satya Sai Baba, Satya meaning truth, Sai means mother, Baba, like Abba in the Bible, means father. So he is the God fire, the Godhead manifested on the earth. So I started reading every book I can find about him. There were scientists, doctors, right-brain thinkers who didn't believe in such things, left-brain thinkers who didn't believe in such things, right-brain thinkers didn't believe in such things, and they went to India because they heard all of this noise, all of this hype about Sai Baba, and went over there with the agenda to debunk the truth of Sai Baba. And these are the people that are coming back to the States, writing these books, saying, I don't know what that was, having no clue of what they experienced. So I began reading these books, and out of all of these books, there was a common denominator throughout them all. And if you were blessed for Sai Baba to talk to you personally, keep in mind there are 35,000+ people there a day. For no reason. People from Christianity, Judaism, Muslims, Islam, Buddhism, all walks of life, all countries across the world, are there to see the magic and the power and the unifying love of Southeast Sai Baba. So the message that is found within these books, if you get the chance to talk to him, he says, if I come to you in a dream, you are not dreaming. You are actually having my darshan, my blessings, my presence. I am actually there, and you are having an experience. That's why not everybody can just dream of Jesus or dream of Buddha, because everybody would be walking around saying, Jesus or Buddha came to me. This is what they said, and it would all just be confusion. One night, after many visits from Sai Baba in dream state, he comes to me, and he's standing across the river, and I come to a full-blown state of consciousness, and I'm overwhelmed, crying, because I get to see God. And he says, Keith, I want you to come to India this evening. So immediately I go to human logic. How will I get there? Where will I get the money? I've never done such a thing. How will I put this all together? And he tells me, he says, Keith, one day you will learn to put aside your doubt, disbelief, and your fear. And you will open up. So the next morning, I wake up going, wow, 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 wow. It was so real. And I'm contemplating, and I go back into my logic again. How will I get there? Where will I get the money? And so forth. And then I realize, if this is God, and everything I read from all these logical-brained people is true, I'm just going to let this go. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call, swear on my child, from a lady I've never met. Hi, Keith. My name is Debbie. Hi, Debbie. What can I do for you? Keith, my name is Debbie Shabor, and I found out through a mutual friend that you want to go to India. I said, yeah. So what? She says, well, Keith, I'm a flight attendant, and my companion passes for the year are about to expire, and I really would not like that to happen. Nobody want to go to India to see the Holy Land. Can I give you a first-class round-trip ticket? 2 months later, I'm on a mid-jet airliner crossing the ocean, going to India to see Satya Sai Baba. This is how this experience happened for me from, I think it's from dream.
See, that would have blown my mind right there. You're freezing a little bit. I think, is your phone getting hot? That would have done, but I mean, for 2 weeks later, somebody calls you and gives you a full ticket to a round trip to India.
Yes.
So I'd love to know some of the things that you saw while you were there. You're totally frozen now. I'm not really sure. Maybe
Lori,
let your phone.
Lori, you might have to call him again. Hang up and call him back because.
Do you want to hang up and call back in a minute?
No, I'm cooling my phone down now.
Oh, okay. So what were some of the types of things that you actually saw when you were in India that were just crazy, like things that nobody would believe? I mean, I know about the vibhuti though, but,
I'm going back to you on my phone after we cool it down. One moment.
okay. Keith, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
see me okay?
Yeah, I can see you now, but I just wanted to share a quick little story of my own about vibhuti. About 20 years ago, well, maybe even longer than that, in my wilder times, I got my belly button pierced and it got infected. And I went to see my teacher that night, actually because I just had a regular appointment, like I had a weekly appointment with him. And he actually had a little thing of this ash, this vibhuti, and he put it on my belly button. He put his finger in the little thing, put it on my belly button. Almost immediately, the swelling and the red started to dissipate, and within 1 hour, it was completely healed. And I mean, my stomach was in pain. I was talked into getting my belly button pierced. It wasn't my idea, but within an hour, it was completely healed, and never had a problem since then.
Let me grab some vibhuti ash.
Okay. Wow. He has it? I didn't expect him to actually have it. And it does, it comes right out of Sai Baba's palm. I can't believe you actually have some.
This is called vibhuti ash. This is manifested by Sai Baba or avatars. It has a divine purpose. The purpose is, ash is the final condition of things. It did not go under any further change. Hence the scripture we see, from ash to ash is the ritual. Trust me when I tell you, you put this in your mouth.
It smells and tastes like roses, doesn't it? Because
Just like flowers, it's amazing.
That's just what my teacher did to me. He put it on my tongue, and I couldn't believe it tasted the way roses smelled. It was the most amazing experience, like it was crazy.
And it has healing properties. When I was in India, I was on the ashram. If you can imagine, I was staying in a room which looks somewhat like a college dormitory. I went to the temple. When I come back, this ash is falling off these pictures. Now, people can say it's dust. It would take dust years to collect that thick. And it only shows up in spots, and you can see it fall off. And if you touch the ash while it's manifesting, the miracle will stop. But when I walked into the dormitory or the foyer, going back to my room, this picture had ash falling all from it. You asked a question a bit ago, some of the miracles I experienced while I was there. I saw Sai Baba manifest gold. I saw him heal people on the spot, change the weather in front of my face. The biggest miracle I saw, well, there were so many miracles. You ask someone a question, and then, 30 seconds later, you turn around and it manifests right in front of your face physically. I mean, this is stuff that, I've seen in 2 weeks that most people will not be able to see in an entire lifetime. Now, the biggest miracle I saw while I was there was 30,000+ people getting along, beyond getting along, living in absolute peace. There's an amazing respect. Namaste. They call, there in the ashram, they say Saidam. Saidam can mean hello. It can mean excuse me. It can mean I'm sorry. It has a variable of meaning. But I actually had many, many experiences of miracles directly with Satya Sai Baba. I was halfway through writing my bestseller, The Divine Principle. It was at the 4-year mark. I liked the idea of being an author. It was fun. But if I was doing this and it no longer served their purpose, when I got to India, I was going to ask Satya Sai Baba in my mind, should I continue or has this run its course? Either way, I just want to know. So I waited for about a week after I was at it. I want to just jump in and make it all about me. I knew the time was going to be appropriate. So I remember reading a book by Robert, you can look this up on Google, Robert Priddy, P-R-I-D-D-Y, called The Source of the Dream. He was one of those fortunate people that Sai Baba pointed to out of 35,000 plus people and said, so he went to the room and waited, and Sai Baba gave him a personal interview. And he told Robert Priddy, he said, you saw when I was pointing at you? He said, yes. He said, when I did this in the air with my finger and I was pointing at you, I was telling you to write a book about what you experienced here with me on this ashram. Robert Priddy wrote that book. I read that book. So when I got to India and realized it was time for me to ask Sai Baba about, should I keep writing this book? And I'm thinking, how I'm going to give me the same signal you gave Robert Priddy in The Source of the Dream. And his hand went up and he started writing. And my human mind does this. I'm going, oh, jeez. Because, not because I doubt, but yet because I doubt, I just wasn't expecting them. I was not expecting them. And he begins to write in the air with his hand. So I got my face in my hands in disbelief, but yet being overwhelmed. And I began to think to myself, wow, okay, once, do it again. So I got my face in my hands and I'm looking over here. When I took my hands from my face, he's moved from over here to over here, and he points directly to me, and he starts writing in the air. Now, how do you know he's pointing directly to you with 35 plus thousand people? One, coincidentally, I got first row more often than not, and people will, to use the word, kill to get on first row, to where you're literally 3 feet from God. So, still in disbelief, I look down again, taking this all in now, breathing, integrating this magic, this miracle. And I look up again, and he's moved from here to here, and now the third place he's over here. And he's looking at me, writing in the air. And so after he leaves the ashram, or goes into his little room, the person, now keep in mind, everyone is sitting in lotus position like sardine. You can't move. People in front of you, if you're not on the first row, people behind you, people on side of you. And this person sitting next to me, this is a perfect example of how these miracles happen. The person next to me is reading a book. And I said, Saidam, excuse me, is that a good book you're reading? What are you reading? And he closes the book. And the author of the book's last name is Blanchard.
Okay.
Kenneth Blanchard. And I'm thinking, wow. And I'm freaking out because I just had acknowledgement pointing at me, giving me what I asked for directly by writing in the air from Robert Priddy's book 3 times to Kenneth Blanchard, me being Keith Blanchard, on the book cover. Thinking that's the miracle. And I was overwhelmed. I was submersed in bliss. Later that night, I go take a shower. And as I'm taking a shower, it dawned on me who Kenneth Blanchard is. No relation, mind you. Same name. Kenneth Blanchard happens to be my godfather.
Wow. The guy that wrote the book was actually your godfather?
No,
Oh.
but my godfather's name was Kenneth Blanchard.
Oh.
Godfather Kenneth Blanchard.
Synchronicity.
And these kinds of miracles happened everywhere I went, everywhere. I was looking for a ride home the Sunday that I was to leave. And so I found a sign on the ashram grounds, the courtyard. It said, room number whatever, whatever. If you want to find a ride, we can ride together to save money. Knocked on the door, no one was there. I left that room to go to the courtyard, only to go to the coconut stand. Got a coconut, and whacked the top off, put a straw in, you drink it. And I saw this lady there, and me being the social butterfly that I am. Saidam, nice to meet you. You speak English, yes. Got to meet and greet for a bit. And I said, she goes, when are you leaving? And I said, I'm leaving in the next couple of days, and I'm looking for a ride. I saw a sign, and I knocked on someone's room, And she said, that's my row out of 35,000 people. So the manifestations were everywhere. And one thing further I would like to share about these manifestations, when you're in the temple and Sai Baba is doing these creations, when Sai Baba begins to, this is how he manifests. He turns his hand and it appears. When he begins to turn his hand, now think about it. Really think about what I'm saying to you. 35 plus however many thousands of people, they become hyper excited because they know something's about to happen. Now you have 35 plus thousand people who are having this excitement energy shoot through the roof. And they're all staring at Sai Baba and his hand. That is a lot of conscious power.
Yeah, you can feel that.
35 plus thousand, one-pointed focus, waiting for something to happen. And I often wondered if Sai Baba, like Star Wars, uses the Force. He draws the energy from all those people to manifest these objects. Now, I can tell you from actual experience, when he begins to manifest this object, whatever it is, everyone, at least myself, it's like we all go to the place, to the invisible realm, where these objects come from, and we bring them back together. Pretty powerful, magical stuff.
So I have a quick question. So do you think that Sai Baba, when he's doing these, or when he was doing these miracles, was actually modeling the potential that we all have as undeveloped beings? Because there has to be a lesson here, and I'm a greater lesson on a global level, that where all this goes. Like with astral projection, obviously we're a lot more than we know we are, but we don't know how to work ourselves. It's like, I got this body, I don't know how to work it. How do I astral project? How do I? And then your book was all about manifesting the divine principle, right? And you had the 9, because maybe you could talk a little bit, I mean, I know there's things I want to manifest in my life. So maybe we could talk a little bit about what our potential actually is, where maybe your guides or angels or whatever have told you where humanity is going, and like an avatar like Sai Baba, like honestly, he's modeling our potential as creative beings, or well, maybe not even ultimate. I mean, because I guess he could still develop a lot too, right?
It's who we are. All he is really, you can see it in both directions. He's our original past self, or he's our future self, what we are going to become. So God is the beginning, God is the end. What does that make everything in the middle?
I don't know.
God.
Oh.
So the truth of the matter is, this is really who we are. Now, I know a lot of fundamental people, whatever religion you come from, I know this may be new for you. I am not here to upset you. But if it upsets you, good. Because truth is upsetting. Because it shakes the foundation of everything you believe that could possibly be absolute horseshit.
But how do you know it's truth? Like you're saying it's truth, but see, truth would come from your relative experience, your personal. So can you share why you believe it is true? Like your astral projection experiences. What other realms did you experience?
Well, to answer the first question, whatever one believes is true doesn't mean it's truth. Truth implying capital T, the umbrella over everything. You ask an 8-year-old child, is Santa Claus real? It's the truth. We, as human beings, like those children, immature in our spiritual process, believe in Santa Claus. We believe the story of God in the cloud. We believe the story that it's only Jesus. We believe the story that it's only this, that it's only that. But it's all inclusive. It's all encompassing. You are the truth. If a person really wants to find the absolute highest truth, look in the mirror. Look inside of yourself. Perfect analogy. The question you ask, how do you know it's the truth? We would all agree God, the highest
Probably has
form
to
of
hang up
God.
and start again.
The truth.
Keith, I don't know what's the matter, but our speakers are vibrating like crazy. Did you send an angel over here?
I'm pretty buzzed right now. My energy is very high.
They won't even turn off.
Oh my God,
Yes, they did. They turned off.
Oh my God, they were buzzing so
Right,
loud.
just talk. Let's hear you through the.
Can you do a test?
Here's an analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, you're not on
Speakers back in.
speaker. Okay, for some, maybe you overheated our speakers.
Try it again. Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Better. Okay.
Oh my God, it's fixed again now. Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
So here's how you can find the truth. If God is the truth, the highest truth, everyone in your audience right now, point to God.
Okay.
Point to yourself.
We all pointed to our hearts, not our brains.
Notice when I said to yourself, you didn't do this,
That is right.
because that's not the truth. That's the truth. The kingdom of God is within. It's you. It's your purest, absolute, authentic self. You remove all the clutter out the way and you're left with the force. That is who you really are. The part of you that is hearing my voice is the part of you that's always been. It's the real part of you. Your awareness of hearing my voice is the part of you that has always lived, lives now, and will forever live. Forever. If you can comprehend that, that's who you are. That's who we are. And what it really takes is to move through the dogma of our life. You can still accept Jesus as your personal David. You can still accept Sai Baba as your personal David. It's really not about any of that. Because there will come a time in your life when you will still revere those holy ones. But you will ascend yourself to the same platform and you see yourself as equal. When you live from this perspective, you are walking into your mastery.
Only a couple other eons, right?
Or not.
I'm really praying it's not. So talk about astral projection a little bit. You're avoiding it, and tell us some of your experiences with that. Does anybody have any questions too, by the way? Because if you do,
Does he have any feelings or sensations about our group?
is he feeling us?
Yeah, yeah.
One of our members wants to know if you're feeling anything from the group here coming through energetically.
Yes, her.
He's feeling you.
What is your name, darling?
Donna Marie.
Marie?
Donna Marie.
Donna Marie.
Donna, I get the feeling that you're really clamping down on something in your life right now. And you're clamping down really, really hard. In fact, it's about to break your hands open, and the more it wants to do that, the more you're clamping down on it.
I'm not
Something wants to bust open inside of you, and you know it. And a part of you is scared to death.
I wish I knew exactly what that is. There's probably a couple of things, but
For me, this has to do with mail. When I say, and I'm not into code reading. I wasn't expecting any of this, and that's okay. It has to do with male energy, something to do with past, dad, husband, maybe of both, kind of thing. Some part of you has been wanting to move forward in a way that you have not before, and you're holding yourself back.
wow.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
She said it's true.
Would you like some help with that?
Yes.
Do it.
Okay.
Stop jacking around and do it. Do it. Because as you begin to do this, it's going to feel funky, really strange and awkward. Imagine that to a wheel that spins this way. Control. Not that you're in a control mode, but this is liking this to a wheel that spins this way. And the more you trust and you move into that experience, that wheel's going to slow down. When the wheel stops, you are standing at the threshold of your miracle. And it's going to feel really strange. Because you're going to feel like the rug is being pulled out from under you, and I think that's where you are right now in your life. Because if you don't choose it, it's going to choose you. And I would rather you do it on purpose than have purpose do it on you. But once you walk through that threshold, that wheel's going to start spinning this way. And then you can release your hands, because now you're moving through the stream. And you don't need a paddle when you're in the stream. The stream will push you. Walk through your illusion. Dare yourself. I did. I triple dog dared.
Can I tell you the most unusual thing in my life that has made me really believe there's something after life? A friend.
Would you please step forward so I can be in your space a little more?
Here's an empty chair. Just getting Fred's wall up here. Here she comes, Keith.
Hello.
Where do I sit?
Here, you can see it. This is her face. Or you want to
Oh,
hear it?
Anyway, here's a situation, I probably always cry about this, but a friend of mine who was my first boyfriend, didn't talk to for years, we retouched base at a time that I was having problems in my life, he was having problems in his life. Anyway, he ended up committing suicide, but before that happened, I was taking courses in education and I had to write a poem. I had to write an article by Philosophy of Education. And after I wrote that, I wrote a little poem. And then after that, I really was severely prompted to write a poem for someone who died, which was essentially, in time you call me forward, in time I call you forward, in time you call me back. Without time we are together, till then beloved sweet. But anyway, I'm happily married, all this stuff, but I was having problems at that time. Anyway, he used to say to me, he said, you say things that I don't even say. And here, he committed suicide after that, but he didn't say anything about that poem. But here, I ended up saying a death poem for him. Well, anyway, he dies, and about 2 months later, my husband had bought me an organ that you put a disc in, but we didn't know it had disc in it, or at least I didn't. And after he died, I got up one day, and I was prompted to go into this room, and he said, look for a disc for the organ. This voice said, look for a disc for the organ. So I thought, that's crazy, but let me go where the voice said to go, and I looked and I didn't find it. I come out of the room, said, go back in again and move stuff. So I moved stuff, and I found the disc. I said, oh my God, this must fit in the organ. So I put it in the organ, and one thing we always talked about is the concept of always and eternity. Anyway, I put in the demo disc. The first thing comes out is this instrumental called Always. And I'm like, oh my God. So, but that was really meaningful to me. And after I shut it off, it went back to the original thing of the piano, but happened to be number 1, and it said live, one live. But I read I live. It said I live. And then I told my mother about it, and she said, you mean that song, I'm in love with you always? I said, no, Mom. But I went to the store, thrift shop later that day, and I found, I was turned around to go out, and there was a little tiny, little shopping bag. There was a music box, and I wound it up, and it said, I'm in love with you always. I was teaching a course, and I was doing some studies, and I had a little music thing that you push buttons, Michael Jackson's music. And I was doing nothing happened. All of a sudden, the music went off, and it was like, what do I do without you? Or you're like my only, I was like, oh my God. And the fact that he committed suicide, you always worry when somebody commits suicide, and I thought, maybe God allowed something so I know he made it. He actually, he was falling apart, and everything was painful. He was taking so many medications. His wife was divorced, and his kids were, his life fell apart. And he basically said, could you ever leave your husband? I said, no. He said, well, I never want to come between you, blah, blah. But anyway, he has been the person that has made me really feel that there's a connection, from the other side. And that's my story. I'm sorry.
No, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. I can hear your heart. But I can also tell How, and this is rhetorical, how is his passing affecting your marriage? I heard you say you have a wonderful
It
marriage.
has
But
gotten
what is that
so
part
much,
about?
it has gotten every day better and better and better. So that it's just, it's like we're dating. I mean, it's just, after he passed, yeah, it's just gotten better. It just really has gotten better.
Well, what about this you've been contemplating writing?
Yes. I write a couple different things. I'm writing a math book, but I do periodically write deep thoughts where I almost feel like I'm being inspired as I write. Because it's just like on things after I read it back when I write it, oh my God, that's not bad. Did I write this? About God? How did you know? I do write. Should I write?
Well, your heart is.
Okay, thank you. I mean,
Always with your heart.
and you just amazed me that you said me, because when I said, do you feel anything? Because, I'm sorry, but
Continue.
Yeah, no.
Good.
it's just, I want to do something important. My husband's writing a book. He's going to write multiple books, but he's writing a book about God and the attributes of God, and he's the one that really wants to, bring together at some point all the important religious leaders, and he basically, he once said to me, am I monopolizing this thing?
No.
Okay, my husband said to me, after we got married, the person he most wanted to meet was Mortimer Adler. And for his 40th birthday, I was able to contact the Institute for the Study of Great Ideas and find out about meeting Mortimer Adler, and they were having a seminar. And so he went to it, and here they really liked him, and he just started getting more and more deep thoughts. And he's been writing this book, and he's the powerful one. And one of the things that I had, a couple times I say things to him, like for example, like why is there death? And I had said to my husband, I said, I'll tell you what I think. I said they had this thing where these children were on a boat singing to the Blessed Mother, and the boat capsized. And he said to me, well, what do you think? And I said, I said, the thing is, I said, there has to be death, and okay, suppose God saves those little children, and then now they're like teenagers, they're gonna have a car accident, and he saves that, and then they're in their 30s, they're gonna die of the flu, and he saves them from that, and then they're 70, they're gonna die from, falling down the steps, and then after that, I said, if God saved everybody, there's no difference between the death of a little child and the death of an old person, except that, of course, they lived. But when would God stop saving them? So death is a normal part of life. You have to, die to be in the next, place. And I told my husband that, and it was interesting because he had said to me when he talked to Mortimer Adler, he said one of the things he threw out there was this concept about death, because Mortimer Adler had 2 wives that died of cancer. And he said to my husband, and my husband said to me, he said, the smartest thing Mortimer Adler ever said that I said was something you said to me. You're so sweet to listen. I'm like, oh my God. And I feel kind of guilty here because you're doing such a great job, but like.
Do me a favor.
What?
Favor. I heard you speak, as you were speaking to me just a bit ago, you were saying how he's the smart one, or whatever word you used.
Yeah.
And then you said, I feel so bad. When you take all of that stuff and look at it honestly, hear me,
Yeah.
when you look at it honestly, and fall in love with it, all of you should, all of it, how you feel about yourself, calling him the smart one, how you feel bad for taking the time, up the time. When you look at this stuff and see how beautiful it is, and you look at it honestly, and you're done with it, just put it aside. There's no spiritual work you have to do. You don't have to do this intensive, extensive cleansing. Just put it aside. It's not serving you. You are as beautiful as they come. That is the truth. God lives here, and when you point to yourself, you point here. That should be your focus on. That is your path. That's the path we're all on. Some people are just a little hard-headed more than others. Don't be hard-headed. Be that smart and move into your best life.
You,
Be easier on yourself. You deserve it.
thank you so much. Let me ask somebody else for a question or something, but thank you more than you realize. Or maybe you do realize. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
Well, that's what we're doing this
Did
for.
you think that that thing with my friend was a message though?
it's all a message. That message from your friend is no more important than me talking to you. Me talking to you is no more important than the words you heard from a child yesterday. The words you heard from a child yesterday is no more important than, it's all God. God is everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
God is omnipresent,
Thank you.
present in all places at all times. There is nothing that is not except fear. Fear is a creation of our own illusion.
Thank
The
you.
chair you're sitting on is God. It's God's grace holding up your backside. All of God. And when that playing field becomes level and even, God is all there is, including me. God is all there is to you, including you. You are being spoken to. We are being spoken constantly in every aspect of life. And another thing is the dialogue you hear in your head, that's of a positive nature, that you think God is talking to you, is God talking to you.
Thank you.
It's nothing God is not. So the positivity in your head is God talking. The doubt, the disbelief, the guilt, that's all the egoic facade. So trust.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well,
Thank you, thank you.
Well, I'm grateful to you for the question because normally when somebody asks something, more than one, just that person has that question.
Oh.
There may have been more of us that felt a little stuck. So, I mean,
Thank you.
that's okay. So Keith, I was really kind of hoping you could talk a little bit about your book and the principles of manifesting that you learned and were taught to share.
Okay, and while I'm looking at that document, I'm going to find
Speakers again.
the divine principles. You wanted me to answer some questions about astral projection.
Yes.
Do you have any specific question you would like to ask me?
Well, personally, I would like to know what other beings that you've had experiences with, or maybe have you continue to have experience with ones that have become familiar, like friends or buddies that just kind of hang out every now and then, you know, with you anyway. And does anybody else want to know anything about astral projection?
Yes.
Yes, what? Oh, they're all saying yes, but they have no
This is,
questions.
this is new to me, so I
Oh.
don't usually come to these things and I haven't read books yet.
Okay,
So I don't know
so
what it is.
please explain what astral projection is, your first experience with it, and how to keep ourselves safe when we are, well, safe might be a wrong word. Go ahead, you take it.
My first experience was when I was about 7 or 8 years old. I remember just floating from the bed to the ceiling all night long, up and down, very slowly, and it was very blissful, very fun, very, very cool. I didn't know what was happening. It felt very, very natural. I felt crazy. I didn't have any dogma, any stuff inside to think anything otherwise. We all astral project every night. We have soul experiences every night. You may not remember them. But we do go out into the universe. We gallivant out to learn. We come back. If you have dreams that you are in a school, you are in a cosmic school somewhere learning. And your mind is painting a picture in a way that you understand. When you bring an awareness with you, wow, I'm out of my body. You're not really out of your body because everything is inside. But when you're astrally traveling, when you realize that you are, the facade of being in a school building, that fog may dissipate. And you might see the actual school that you're really in with others, extraterrestrials, angelic beings, whatever it may really be. But the mind can only paint pictures of what it is that we know from recall. But you are having experiences every night. As far as protection, nothing can hurt you. Nothing. You're not your body. Nothing's going to hurt your physical body. To my knowledge, no one has ever died astral projecting. If you go into it, protecting yourself is a very smart and an important thing. And you should be concerned. But, in your wanting to astral project, if you go, ooh, I need to protect myself, you are already creating an intention so that when you do get out there, to prove to yourself that you are right. Because in the astral world, or in the world of the spirit, there is no time. There is no buffer, and what you think will happen just like that. That being said, still can't hurt you. Might scare the bejesus out of you, can't hurt you. You're not going to be possessed. You're either going to make yourself wake up and it'll be over, or you can lift your vibrations just by the intention of doing so and go to another plane of consciousness altogether. And here's a really cool trick. Let's say you're out there and you're confronted by some not so friendly people. You can always leave. You can always make yourself wake up. Or you could grab them and intimately begin to hug them and passionately tell them that you love them. They will run faster than you can imagine. And mean it. They will leave you alone. The vibration burns them, so to speak. They want no part of that experience at all, because their whole agenda to coming to you with the hope of attaching to you is to feed off of your fear. Don't be afraid. There's nothing there. It's all reflections of you. When you know that, you are carrying real power. When you know that it's a reflection of you, and it's a reflection of you, then you know not to be afraid. If you know not to be afraid, you won't attract such experiences to you. Astral projection is a very, very fun way to explore the truth of immortality. Because when you get out there, you realize, wow, I am not my body, because I am so aware. I know that gazillions of light years away, down on earth, on the bed, I have a body laying there. In that moment of separation, you know that you're not the body, because you're the awareness from the experience, and the cosmos somewhere having the experience. And your body's down there laying there as a vehicle that's at rest.
And that feeling of flying is absolutely, the weightless feeling is just nothing I could even there's no way to describe it physically.
You find you're astral projecting. You may not be astral projecting, but you are. And the reason there's a flying sensation is because your consciousness is shifting to a different aspect of your own spirit, which is everything and everywhere. That's why it feels like you're flying. There's some movement sensations that happen.
One of our members, Karen, has a question.
Hi, Karen.
Sure. Hi, well, I'm going to move out of the seat for her. And then Anthony, do you have a question as well? Okay. And then Anthony next. Go ahead.
Hi, Keith.
Hello, Doug.
Hey. Wow, how do I do this briefly, because I don't want to monopolize. I've been having experiences since I was a little kid. Things from my whole body vibrating in the middle of the night, to orbs flying around the room, to seeing ghosts, to being told I'm a star seed and blah, blah, blah. And lately the experiences are getting so regular that actually they never try to hurt me, but I hurt myself. I fell out of bed.
How did you hurt yourself?
Well, because I got scared, I fell out of bed and hit my head, you know, and another time I kicked the television off the thing, you know, so it's like I don't sleep that well. And now I'm trying to sleep with a mask on and the lights on in the room, because for some reason when the lights are on, nobody visits, you know. But then when I have to get up to pee.
Is it because, as a child, we often think that the lights are on, it protects us somehow, and light always dispels dark, and if I keep the lights on, I can see. And you have this whole paradigm that because you believe it so strongly that the lights on, I'm safe, you're not allowing an experience to be had, and therefore when the lights are on, nothing happens.
I don't know if that's it. All I know is that I wanted to stop. I don't know if you've ever heard of Olof Johnson before. He was a famous psychic in Sweden many years ago. I did some classes with him, and he told me I was in the 2% of the population or something. Anyway, I've taken remote viewing classes and did really well. I've been approached by the government regarding my skills with remote viewing, which scared the crap out of me too. I shouldn't even be saying this in public, but anyhow.
This isn't public.
Right, it's not public. The bottom line is that, it's nice to have these gifts, but I can't sleep at night, so.
Did you Catholic?
I grew up Catholic, yeah. I grew up Catholic. I'm a Christian. I'm what I call a cool Christian, because I'm here. Because I'm here, right? So
Well, what I would offer you in the form of a few ideas is, I grew up Catholic. And so no matter how much, be it Christian, be it a spiritualist, or no denomination, doesn't matter. If we have not done a sufficient amount of work, you may not believe in demons or a devil. I don't.
no, I don't believe in
Doesn't
that.
mean that we don't have phantom energy, residual energy lingering in our minds. And that would be enough to bring such experiences to you that would frighten. So my suggestion to you is the demons that we learned about biblically, see them as extraterrestrial. You may say, well, Keith, that doesn't help me much. Well, it's a different tone altogether. There are no demons are out to get you. And it's, what I would suggest you do, darling, is sleep the night off, let the experience happen, and trust that you are created by God's hands, and let it happen. What can happen?
Well,
I'm not going to kill.
I never think they're demons. I absolutely don't think they're demons. I just want to know if they're deceased people or if they're ETs, because I have ET stuff going on all around me all the time too. If they're ETs, I'd be happy. I want it. I want to meet the ETs.
Well,
Totally, you know?
let's play the game. Let's play the game and run it through. If it's loved ones, you have no reason to be afraid.
I wish it'd be loved ones, but it's not.
Okay? So if it's ETs, as you just affirmed, you wish it was, you have no reason to be afraid.
As long as
So
they're not
you have two.
reptilians.
Right. Let it happen. Trust. State the intention. Put protection around it if that makes you happy.
Is there
Make
a way
yourself
she,
feel good about it.
Keith, is there a way she could like maybe, have a pencil and a pad and paper there maybe, and like maybe some type of observational, like, dialoguing, or maybe could you?
It happens so fast, and I have, my heart starts pounding in my chest, and I don't want to be scared, but it's the unknown, and you're like, what the hell is this, you know? So,
Did you
Jump up. No.
Did you ask them?
I never get a chance, I scared them away, so.
That's the key word you said, is the unknown. Not meaning you, but any of us. When we live our life inside of what we know, and no magic is happening. Magic can only happen outside of we know. Because if it was happening inside the box, or our comfort zone, we wouldn't have a need to venture outside the box. Jump out. Push that lid open and get out the box. Watch what happens. You're gonna dig it.
Okay.
You're smart
Easier
enough,
said than
you're
done.
good at that loud enough. Make yourself wake up, it's over. Go into it with fire, piss and vinegar, jump in and invite it. Bring it, I'm ready, let's do it.
Thank you.
Anthony?
What about just sending an
Are you-
intention?
Okay, I guess you answered his question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What about just setting the intention? Because I used to have that all the time. I used to wake up and I'm like, listen, I'm exhausted. You guys aren't gonna let me sleep. So that's it, like done.
Like setting,
like,
you mean
I'm
like
saying,
speaking
okay.
an intention?
Yeah, to them, like, okay, you're gonna come visit me. You can come visit me for 2 hours and then the rest of the night I'm sleeping. Like, I don't wanna wake up.
Oh, another member was saying, would it be, have you ever tried anything like saying, you know, you can come visit me for an hour, but after that you need to let me go to sleep?
Yeah, I mean,
Do they
intention
listen?
Yeah.
intention is everything. Everything in your life, since you're a child, old enough to make decisions, is intention. I woke up this morning, I intended to go brush my teeth, eat breakfast, use the bathroom, and walk to my car. All that is
Set the
intention.
intention to
Everything is intentional. Even when you think you're not intending, you are intending. And life happens through our intentions, consciously or not. So yes, stating an intention is a wonderful thing. It may help the entity realize that, hey, they said I could come visit for an hour, I'm gonna respect that. Or it could mean that you're stating an intention so that you yourself will remember 1 hour from then to say, I'm done and I'm ready to go to sleep. But intention is a very, very powerful thing. In fact, it's everything. It's your will being used. It's your will being applied.
Keith, I want to thank you for Skyping into the group. It's 8 o'clock,
Lauren?
so we have to wrap things up.
Lauren?
The library's going to throw
Ladies,
us out.
here's a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have one more question. Go ahead. Here, it's Cynthia, she's coming up. And then, but we have to wrap it up after that.
Oh, I can,
Come on.
Hi Keith, I'm Cynthia.
I said,
This is just something that's been baffling me. I grew up with my grandmother, who's a very strong communicator, and she taught me a lot. Like, as you grew up Catholic, it's really fun when you go in, when you're in first grade and they ask you what you do for the weekend. Oh, I took the devil out of somebody's house with my grandmother, and the nuns don't like that too much. But I've always had contact, and the one thing that's been baffling me, this is the one time I'm stumped. For, gosh, I'd say about 6 months, I've been dreaming about a child. And we've had all these scenarios and different things in these dreams, and I've asked, what do you want of me? Is there something I can do? Is there something unsettled, or, are you real? And nothing. How do I, seriously, I've picked every book out on dreams. I don't know, is he a manifestation of me? I'm clueless.
ask me the question again in one sentence. Say it. I'm trying to feel the energy. Ask me the question.
How do I communicate with this child who has come to me in a dream state for the past 6 months? And
Does it ask you different things each time, or is it the same question that it's asking, or?
completely different scenarios and different dreams, different types of dreams.
Are you wanting to communicate with this child?
He just appeared one night, so yeah, I'm enjoying it because he's a sweet little kid. It's great.
So is your question for me, you're concerned about it, or how do I really do this?
How do I get? I feel like there should be closure, or there is a need. There's a reason why he's coming to me, and I just don't know what it is. And how do I get to it?
Make it your breath. Make it your food. Make it your desire. Turn the fire up on your desire for that contact.
Okay.
Make it your breath. Make it real. Want it. Salivate for it. You have to want, when something seems a little difficult to get or to manifest, you have to want it. You have to really, really want it. When you do, it'll happen. Want it means think about it all the time. Make sure your prayers are nice and juicy. Make it your only prayer. Make it your prayer throughout the day. Whatever. There's no real way to manifest. Sometimes you can get out when you astral project, and you can play the button. Start banging on that button, turn the crank. It doesn't matter. It's all excuses we use to do what we do anyway, which is create. So you can create your way of creating. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
You're right, because things have been very easy for me. Like, I would dream about children, know that there was an issue, resolve it, done. And so this kid's throwing me for a loop. this little club foot. And
You are correct. This is definitely a manifestation and a mirror reflection of yourself. See how that is applicable to you.
Yeah, did you say the child had a clubbed foot?
Yeah, he's got a club
Did you
foot.
hear that, Keith? She said the child in her dream has a clubbed foot.
What part of you
I don't have any club
is
foot.
finding it difficult to move forward?
Yeah.
This is how you can play with these ideas. What does clubbed foot really mean? What puts it on, left or right? You can grab all these details and these metaphors and see how it fits. You don't have to make something fit. You're wanting it to fit is what's gonna make the door open up and make it all make sense for you.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Can you just talk about, just like that, just plug your stuff real quick, and just give us all just an idea of where we can find your things and what, and all that.
My name is Keith Anthony Blanchard. You can visit me at keithanthonyblanchard.com or centeroflightradio.com. It's the same website. I host a show there every Monday night with a listening audience of about 2 million, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Please join us in the chat room. If you go to centeroflightradio.com and scroll down the opening page, you'll see a subscription form. I will not send you crap. I will send you newsletters that I put a lot of time into about my ET experiences, so forth and so on, empowering information that will change your life. And finally, when you fill out that subscription form, you will have access to my RPM program. This would be for the questions that were asked tonight. Recognize, plug in, and manifest RPM. It's my lifelong work. How to manifest your life. It's a year program. I send you a once-a-month installment. And I promise you, this is not about fixing you, but I promise you, if you take on this program, in a year from now, you will be an expanded individual.
Thank you, Keith. The library came in and turned the lights on, so we have to go. But
Thank you, librarian.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for spending the evening with us.
I would like to do a part 2 with you, that way we can talk about my alien experiences with Nucleus 8.
See, I wanted to get to the Nucleus 8, and we just never, I know. Of course, okay. All right, so we're going to do a part 2.
Yay.
Thank you, everyone. Peace, love, and light. Nucleus.
Ciao.
Last call for coffee, if anybody wants coffee, last
Wow.
call.
I'm going to the wrong button. Bye, my friends.
Literally, I wake up feeling like I ran 10 miles all night. Are there any more bags?
There's tons of bags there.
Anybody likes peppers? Peppers back there, great, free of charge.
I saved your wallet, Fred.
Those two kids we haven't seen in 30 years.
What time do you guys
Kind of like everybody
Well, Keith, I'm sure the other guy,
Yeah, I don't hear how it's I love it soft when it's actually soft.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, all kinds of ET experiences.
Yeah, just rinse your hands off, don't rub your eyes. The habaneros are there. I know, I'm gonna make one. Seriously, I'm trying to figure out how to make this. I was thinking like an apricot jelly with the habaneros too.
You know what else? I've made jerk cheese with the The jerk sauce one is the, we're trying to make it out of it. Never know.
The cherry ones, oh, I stuffed those with the juice.
Oh, well, those,
Provolone, they were like, they were from my, yeah.
weeks out of it.
Just be careful with the oils around your head. These are beautiful.
They were all branded. These are ornaments. These are actually branded. But there's ones that are
These are the Tabasco ones, right?
It sounded so like up there, and I was like, I gotta hear what this is. So then I go down, and they were like, my mom and I every birthday, happy Thanksgiving, and then I go back and said, Monday, is it tonight? He said, yes. Yes.
After a week, they all shipped up. After a week, all the colors went back to white. Yeah, I mean, it's not really good hot oil.
I love making it. I just like making anything.
Yeah, take them. I'm not taking any home. Take them all. My Frank is, Paul? Steve? Yeah, Steve. Oh, yeah. They'll take the rest.
But sometimes I think this is really so. That's the way it should be.
Thank you.
Sure.
It's hard to remember what's in this.
Okay.
And the time. Years worth of, I'm gonna get your bonnet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Even whole and let them simmer. Don't bust them open.
yeah.
Just let them simmer and then take them out and
And do you put any slices in these, or you just put them in the oil and then let the oil just sit and be happy? And then they start cooking. Give them a little slice. Okay.
And put some other spices in it.
Okay.
Sure, how to work. With vinegar, you don't need it.
Yeah, I know with
Pour vinegar
vinegar.
right over it. It'll be done.
Thank you. These are presents. I'm so excited. I'm already making blankets. I may as well make it.
What am I saying, share?
Is there any?
It's going to be Jennifer Stein.
No, you might not. You did not teach us. Well, that's the thing. You want to sit down and know how to have your own thing, so we want to know how you do it.
So easy, everybody.
Like a high, looks like Tom.
Is that your farm over there? One on this side, and on this side.